What up, colorful people? All right, so PPD. And what is PPD? PPD is postpartum depression. Now I know what you're thinking. You're like, postpartum depression. Why are we talking about that? Because postpartum depression is a real thing, and it also is a real thing with men. Yes. It's not just a mom thing. It's not just a woman thing. It's a human thing. 1 in 4 men are experiencing postpartum depression, but most men don't know it. We feel like it's just life taking over. We feel like, oh, we're just going through it. We have to work. We have a new child, and it's just, life is just life, and that's not the case. You're experiencing postpartum depression when your diet changes, when you realize you don't have an interest in things you used to have an interest in. You ever see that dad that's like smiling like in family photos and he just looks all happy and stuff, but then when he goes to bed at night, he seems low, or when he's in the shower, he may even be crying. And you wonder like, what's wrong with me? Why am I feeling this way? Your hormones are off. You're craving things you didn't normally crave. You have rapid weight gain or rapid weight loss. You're going through the symptom called postpartum depression. You know, I wanted to touch on what it looks like and also what it's like because there was actually a woman on a TikTok who reached out to me, and what she told me was it's some postpartum depression in men is something that's not talked about enough, and it's really not. So I wanted to kind of touch on that and raise a little bit more awareness, and I also wanted to give women to pay more attention to their partners, and then also get men to pay closer attention to themselves as well, because if you're not healthy, then that child won't have a healthy parent. So you need to make sure you're right, not only for you, but the people around you as well, because they need you. They need you just as much as you need you. So you have to remember that. Irritability. Irritability, there is withdrawal symptoms, meaning you just don't find pleasure in the things you used to. Anxiety, feeling overwhelmed, feeling hopeless, loss of interest, and fatigueness. And the biggest one of them all, which can be a threat, is sometimes people, they're okay before they have a child, but after they have a child, they're not okay. It seems like it makes it really hard on their relationship, and it can threaten, it kind of rocks the boat a little bit for the marriage or for the relationship that the mother and the father have, because they're going through it. She may be going through it or he's going through it, but then they don't realize it. So they just feel like, oh, we outgrew each other, or we don't get along. That's not really the case though. You have to, if you're going through something like postpartum depression, first of all, ladies or gentlemen, and it lasts more than 2 weeks, you probably need to seek out some professional counseling, because if not, it can be really hard on your relationship, and it can threaten to tarnish things for the two of you. So that's something that you really need to look at. Hormonal changes, lack of sleep, financial pressure, hair loss, the stress over having a new responsibility. These are all things that a lot of us face. So my thing is, guys, you have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of the people around you. You have to take care of your new the new life that you help bring into the world. But most importantly, you have to take care of yourself to make sure you're healthy. Because if you're not healthy, then it's not good for you. You feel left out. The intimacy isn't there. There's an identity shift. There is unresolved traumas sometimes, and that's another thing. A lot of people have they have a lot of unresolved trauma from the past, from their own lives, or from past relationships, or from their childhood. So that's added in with the postpartum depression, and what that does is it makes their mental health skyrocket through the roof. Mental health is a really really big issue, and I'm glad that we're talking about it more. But um, I don't know whether to say it's getting better or worse, but I do know that it's on the rise. And honestly, I'm still researching, trying to figure out, is it on the rise because we're talking more about it and we're raising more awareness, or is it on the rise because of just the life and just different things that people go through, different generational curses that are passed down, people not having healthy relationships throughout their lives or healthy childhoods. Because one thing I do know is a lot of people, the stuff that they go through later on, it usually stems from childhood. It's something they went through, in their childhood. It's something they went through. It's something that someone did to them. And that's something that I really, 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 truly tell people, before you get into a relationship, before you have children, you need to address whatever issues you have, because if not, you're never ever going to have a healthy, successful relationship, because there's this baggage that you never emptied. There's this baggage you never claimed, and then you just never emptied it. So that's where it starts. And then that monster and that demon inside just grows and grows and grows. We all have demons, or we've all had demons, but a lot of people don't address it the way that they should. They don't take care of it. They don't get in front of that issue so that they can squeeze it and make it explode and make it disappear. They just let it sit there. And when something sits there and you don't address it, it grows and grows, and then it turns into these other things. I've seen people very close to me. Something that may grow into depression, it grows into alcoholism, it grows into schizophrenia. There are all these different things because people don't address what's wrong with them, and these are the main people that's walking around saying that there's nothing wrong with them. Which is what inspired me to create this case about postpartum depression in men, because when you have children, the worst thing you can be is not healthy. The worst thing that you can be is not mentally there. The worst thing you can be is just feeling lost and hopeless all the time. Now, having a child does change a lot. It does. Having a child changes a lot. It changes your life. It changes your routines. It changes how you do things, especially if you're having a child unexpectedly or before you're truly ready and you have to get ready and before life takes over. It can be a lot. It can be a lot, and it can be stressful. That's normal. But the science behind it is taking it day by day. The science behind it is, getting, studying this child, making sure this child has everything that it's going to need. But the most important thing that it needs is you. So your cranium, brother, is a must. It's a must, and it's a really big thing. Now, PPD shows up differently in different men. Some men have risky behaviors. They start working too much, or they don't feel motivated to work at all. Some have substance use, like alcoholism. They start drinking more. They have a lot of anger. They fail, and they just have a lot of bad habits. And a lot of us, the issue with us is, and I understand to a certain degree, but I don't all the way understand. A lot of us, we don't talk about what we're going through or what's wrong with us. We just continue moving through life because, we're taught to just keep going. We're taught to keep pushing. And that's something that we're supposed to do and all, but you need to be healthy while you pushing through life. You need to be healthy while you're walking. And if you're someone who doesn't want to go to therapy, then you need to, maybe, if you're watching this, you need to try some other, healthy coping mechanisms like exercise. Fitness is a really, 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 really healthy thing for your mind and for your mental health. Fitness, eating healthy, going for walks, getting sun. You need to do those things because those type of things allow for you to clear your head. It allows for you to kind of meditate on what's going on in your life. You need to get a schedule together. You need to figure out, okay, I go to work on this day, so when I'm not here, I'm going to go meditate. I'm going to go for a jog in the park. I'm going to join the gym. I'm going to get on a meal plan where I can feel better about myself and feel healthy. These things are things that a lot of us don't do. And then we kind of become like this hamster in the wheel where we're just doing the same repetitive thing every day. We wonder why we're not happy and why we're not getting anywhere. And we look at marriage and children as a burden, and it's not a burden. That's the most healthiest blessing, the biggest blessing you could ever have, because that's your legacy. So, for your legacy, you have to make sure that your heart is in the right place. And you need to empty yourself of all of that turmoil or those negative symptoms that life brings on. When you don't do that, what happens is it puts a strain on your relationship. And also, you could potentially have trouble bonding with that child if you don't fix yourself. We go on with the whole, nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm fine. I'll get over it. I can do this. I can do that. And we do that because we don't want to be seen as weak. We do that stuff because we feel like as men, that's what a man's supposed to do. You're supposed to man up and keep going. You're supposed to man up and keep going after what it is that you're working towards. And that's not. I understand your effort, and I give you an A for effort, brother. But that's not how you do it because it's not healthy for you. And what can happen is you can start to have things like a stroke or an anxiety attack or an aneurysm. These are real things that go on. And then some men end up, ending themselves, and that's something that is not. It's not right. It's not right, and it's not the way to go. When you are building your legacy, that woman, that child, that family, that home, that structure you have, that's the biggest lesson of your life. You shouldn't feel strained by that. You shouldn't feel strained. You shouldn't feel lost. So I'm here to say if these symptoms, this sadness that you have, if it lasts more than a week, maybe 2 weeks tops, you need to seek out some counseling and some professional help. Find some online groups you can join. Find some Facebook groups. Find some programs, some community programs, something. There's got to be some way you can fix what's going on with you. And you have to remember that. In the end, the choice is yours. So do not sit in the low vibrational space. Get up and figure out what you need to do to fix yourself so that you can get back to your old self and you can be happy again and you can feel free. You can feel free so that you can, enjoy your family. This conversation mattered, and I wanted to make this because not only because of the amazing woman on TikTok who reached out to me and was saying that we need to raise awareness, but it's very silent in our culture, and there are dads that struggle. There are dads that struggle, and there are dads that are going through a hard time as well. It's not just mothers. We look at the single mother epidemic and we think, oh yeah, it's hard and I understand, but we forget about the men and how much it can be on them too, especially being a man and having to be the backbone and be the protector and stand up and, all of these things. So, if you don't take anything away from this, fatherhood changes you and it's okay if it cracks you a little, but don't let it break you. You're not alone. Don't go through it in pieces, okay? So the comment section below, share your thoughts, share your testimony, but just know that what you're dealing with there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with feeling a little overwhelmed. Okay, so you're strong for just standing up. You're strong for saying something or acknowledging what's wrong with you. Imagine instead of us saying instead of man up, we say, man, that's tough. Let's get you some help. It'd be different. It'd be much more different. So just remember that, and don't forget the power is in you, okay? So stop giving it to other people. And don't forget to go out into the world, and don't be a moment, be a lifetime, okay? Gotcha.